Let's make one thing clear. A child cannot seduce or coerce an adult. I've noticed a lot of people excusing this behavior, especially in that recent case with David and that minor Celeste that was found deceased. And a lot of people are saying, well, she lied about her age. And hear me out. That is literally a line straight out of a predator's playbook. Flipping the blame onto the child, saying, well, they went along with it. And at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. When you become an adult, you hold the responsibility. A child can't seduce. A child can't manipulate. Period.
Hey, what is up guys? Today I'm filming a commentary video. Today we're going to be talking about the David and Celeste situation. And no, this isn't a true crime channel. I just like to talk about trending topics that are happening on social media. So yeah, if you're new, subscribe, like this video, comment, check out my other videos if you haven't already. Check out my socials, everything's linked down below. Also check out my podcast, Pre-Up With Mine, on Spotify, on YouTube. Share Tony post notifications. And yeah, so before I start, like I said again, this is not a true crime page. I just like to talk about trending topics that are happening, and also this is all alleged. I got all this information between TikTok and other sources, mostly sources, and I will say that a lot of things have been misconstrued over the last few days because people like to use AI and like to stir up the pot, even though, you know, the AI pictures don't look anything like the people that I'm going to be talking about, but a lot of people are running with it without actually doing the actual research. So if you choose to make a video on this, and if you choose to keep up with this, make sure you do all the research, because it's really annoying to get on this TikTok and hear people run with like false information and you could tell that they didn't do any research. They're just like, oh well, someone said it on TikTok, so I'm gonna say it too. I wanted to talk about it because it opens the door for grooming, you know, artists grooming their fans. So I just want to talk about that as well, because I feel like that's really why people are kind of obsessing over it, because he started talking to her when she was 11 allegedly, and he was like in his late teens. So they've been talking for 5 years, so 4 or 5 years. So yeah, okay, everything's alleged, everything is what I just want to keep saying that, reiterating that, because I'm not trying to get in trouble. Okay, so if you aren't familiar with David, he's an indie slash R&B singer, pop singer, I don't know what to call him, but yeah, you probably heard his music before all over TikTok. Romantic Homicide and Here With Me, those are like the two popular songs that he has out. There's a few more that I just can't really remember the rest of them. I've heard him all over TikTok for the last few years, but I just could not get it with him. I don't know, something was telling me that he just seemed kind of corny, so I was like, let me not get into it, you know what I mean? I love indie artists, but it's really hard for me to get into new artists sometimes. Recently been all over headlines since earlier September because his Tesla was found with a decomposing body of a teenage girl in the trunk of his car.
The LA County Medical Examiner identified 15-year-old Celeste Rivas as the person who was found dead at a Hollywood tow yard in early September in the trunk of singer David's Tesla. The medical examiner is still trying to determine the cause of her death. Family first reported Rivas missing in the Lake Elsinore area in April of last year. Her mom posted this flyer on Facebook asking people to share it. She said she was desperate and worried for her daughter who had gone missing. After learning news of Celeste's death, family returned to their Lake Elsinore home today. Her brother told NBC News that he was aware that his sister knew the singer David. Matthew Rivas said when she went missing, she was on her way to see a movie with him, but never returned. Matthew went on to say, quote, she would leave with him and he would drop her off in that same vehicle that was supposedly abandoned. After the teen was found dead in the Tesla, his spokesperson told NBC4 Investigates, quote, David has been informed about what's happened, and although he is still out on tour, he is fully cooperating with the authorities. As of now, the LAPD is not saying any crime has been committed. In a statement today, the department said, quote, at this time, the LAPD does not have a crime classification from the coroner as to the mode or manner of death. Thus, we do not have any suspect information at this time.
So, his car was abandoned and towed, and several people were complaining about a smell. So that's what prompted police to search it. Since the Tesla was registered to him, they decided to do a search warrant on the place. He's currently staying and he's not living at the place, but I did learn that he broke the lease and he's living somewhere else now. It was like a 20K, he broke the lease and it was like 20K. It felt like he had connections with the teenager, so they're just trying to quietly do investigations on him. They said that he's been cooperating for the last few weeks on this situation. The examiners did take some evidence and they're going to be analyzing it, but since this is an ongoing investigation, they're getting a lot of leads because a lot of people on TikTok have been trying to like piece together the events that led up to this situation. It's very hard and kind of confusing to keep up with it because it's kind of like a lot, and it's very dark and it's very heavy because I think people kind of forget that this was an actual person that was living here for like 13-14 years on this earth, and then she had her life taken, and a lot of people are kind of treating this as a Netflix documentary, and they're just like, oh my god, we're gonna be on the next Netflix documentary, say hi everyone. Like, it's very dismissive. And I think, you know, the only reason why she's getting a lot of attention like this is because it's involving a popular singer. So that's really the only reason. If that didn't happen, then people would not care that much, because like, she's still at the end of the day like a person of color, so like they're not gonna pay attention to her because they're going to be putting her to the back burner. And this isn't the first time she's ran away before. She's done it before, like 2 or 3 times already. So they'll see that she's a teenager, and they'll see that she has a pattern of running away, so they'll just treat her as everyone else that's ran away and never came back. That's a person of color. The medical examiner identified the teenage girl as missing 15-year-old Celeste Rivas. She was reported missing last year. She just disappeared in April of 2024. They still don't know what the cause of her death was because she was severely decomposed. She was like wrapped in the bag, so they were like, I don't know the cause of her death, but they are considering it a homicide. So when she was last seen, when she was found, she was wearing a black tube top, leggings, stud earrings, and a yellow chain bracelet. But as I'm filming this right now, there has been some videos that's been resurfacing of David and Celeste. Celeste was at one of his concerts, and she was like in the podium part in the background where you can literally see down. She wasn't with the crowd, she was like with this guy, and she was like watching him. And then there's a clip of him turning around to her and giving her like a little heart, and people are suspecting that was Celeste.
So the only reason why I brought this up was because she was wearing the same black tube top that she was found in when she was unalived, and I just forgot to mention that part, so this is very important to remember in the story.
To mention that there's 2 Celeste in this situation, but we're not going to be focusing so much on the other Celeste because she's not really a huge part of the story, but people keep mixing her up because I guess he was messing with 2 girls named Celeste. One was a grown woman, one was underage. We'll be posting like little clips of the difference between Celeste Rivas and the other Celeste because they're vastly different, but people keep mixing them up because their name is Celeste, and they think that, oh, the songs are about Celeste Rivas, but we don't really know definitively.
Celeste versus Celeste, could y'all tell the difference now?
Scared the shit out of me. The 2 beds. This one. Oh, there you go. Okay, sick.
Welcome to our crib.
I'm shoving up my ass right now.
Wait, what? No, wait, what shoved up your butt? No.
Come and get them.
No.
I media trained you.
No, you didn't.
That's controversial.
It's controversial of kids.
really good.
Okay,
It's been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Mwah, 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 mwah. Oh my! Delete everything. Delete everything. Everything goes. Everything goes. Everything.
I don't really understand his dating life. She was wearing, in the video clip, I do want to mention that she was wearing like a black tube top in the video, but she was wearing some jeans now that I look back on it. But it could be the same black tube top that she was last found in, so I don't know, because the videos that keep resurfacing are she's wearing a lot of the same clothes. So it's just like Hello Kitty Crocs, which apparently that was the last, those were the last shoes that she wore. She was also wearing like a Gap hoodie. She was also wearing like some pink leggings, and there was like a black and white sweater that also David wore. He has it in one of his pictures, and I can't remember like the rest of them, but it's like very like the same videos, like they were either filmed on the same day or she just kept wearing the same clothes over and over again. I've been trying to interview the family for the last few weeks, but they have not been wanting to interview anyone, so they just kind of are like at a dead end with that, because they're kind of just acting a little bit weird. Normally people are kind of like open for interviews, but since one of their family members was found deceased, like it is kind of hard, and you have to put it in perspective, like that was probably not easy to find out, but also it didn't seem like they really cared about her in the first place, so it's kind of like hard to tell like how they really truly feel about the situation. There was a alleged family member that made a GoFundMe about the situation. I don't really know if that's really her family member. She's claiming to be like her cousin or something. Say like anyone can say that I could be her family member, you know, like, and people will run and think that they're helping, and then a bunch of strangers just got a bunch of money, because that GoFundMe got a decent amount of money, and it's supposed to raise for funeral costs, but I just feel a little bit iffy about that situation. So since then, it's been noted that since David has been investigated, he's been pulled from brands like Crocs and Hollister, and even like some artists stopped collaborating with him since he's been under fire for the last few weeks. He was recently on tour with Kali Uchis a little bit after I saw her, honestly, and I thought it was cool. I didn't really think anything of it. I was like, oh, that's cool that she has like another opener, because the only opener that we had was These Sacred Souls, so I was like, oh, that's so cool that she's bringing out a little bit more people for her little performances. But then they did have a song together, and then Kali Uchis like made a statement saying that she is trying to actively take it down because she doesn't want to be a part of that, because people are kind of like accusing her of knowing stuff, even though I don't think she knows anything that's going on. A lot of people on social media has been trying to piece together a connection between him and Celeste. They have posted screenshots of their conversations dating back to a few years ago, and making her 11 years old when they first started talking. From how they met is very confusing, because I heard some claims that it was Fortnite and then they moved to Discord to talk constantly. And then I've seen some saying that they met on Yubo. I don't really know what Yubo is. I think it's like, from what I remember, I think it's a teen dating app where you can like FaceTime people. But it's just like, I don't really know what is true, honestly. So yeah. But most of their messages that I've seen are from Discord. There was some text threads that looked like it was from like WhatsApp or something, but I don't know if that's actually them. So the message read that he said that they have a baby on the way, which I don't really know if that's real, but I just wanted to bring it in here because it had his username on it. Yeah, they're speculating that it could be Celeste because it was me and deleted user, which could have been Celeste, but I don't really know why she would delete her, what is it called, her Discord, because that seems a little bit sus. But there's even some that said Celeste in here. Hi, David Bark. those are like, I think she said David Bark a lot, so from what people are saying, and that's from October 23rd 2022 at 8 p.m. There's one that said from August 28th 2022 at 5 p.m. My parents are so effing annoying, they won't let me go see you perform. And then David said, don't worry, I'll fix it. Another one that says of David, I don't really know who he's talking to, but it said general chat, and he talks about his obsession with morbid things to morbid corn. So but no one responded to that, so I don't really know why he would post that, but it kind of like makes a little bit of sense, because if you listen to the lyrics of his songs, it's all about unaliving someone.
Physically, but in the back of my mind, she died. And I didn't even cry, not a single tear. I killed you. So it's not like the thought of her is gone by itself was something that she did. It was something that I decided to do. And I killed her in the back of my mind. It's really more of a figurative I killed you, especially in the back of my mind. I try to stress that in the back of my mind. That's why I say it so loud. In the back of my mind, you died. In the back of my mind, I killed you. So it's all in the mind, because that's the most secure place you can be, is in your mind. So if you can expel that thought from your mind, then everything else will just come together.
Thread saying that people were saying that they didn't know that Celeste was underage, but that seemed like a lie to me, honestly. So there was like this long message by Dino, which seemed like a mod, like a bot, I wanted to say. To the members of this server, we the Discord and Twitch staff's team want to clarify what we knew and didn't know regarding Celeste. We were not aware of her true age or that she was a missing person. We also did not have any contact with her outside of what was public. From what was shared, David's Twitch streams, and from her role in the server, we understood her to be around 18-19. She appeared in 2 streams, but otherwise was not active in the server. We did not have an ongoing communication with her. Most of us are not located in California, so we were not aware of any missing persons report connected to her. Additionally, the staff team has had minimal contact with David or his management. The mention of her full name within the server was not seen in real time due to how fast the chat moves when David pings everyone. As a result of this situation, the majority of the staff has left the server, and we no longer associate with David. We do not support his actions in any capacity. Our priority has always been the well-being of members in the community. We are deeply saddened by the situation and extend our prayers to Celeste's family. May she rest in peace, and may her family receive justice. So, and then they link a GoFundMe, which I don't know if it's legit, but there's been a lot of other things, like, so there's been like clips of her in some streams. Like, they did mention the stream, and so it does seem like it could be true, because there was like this one stream of him talking to Celeste, and you could tell that it's Celeste because her hair is definitely very curly. It looks nothing like Reva's. So there was a stream where David was like, oh, I media trained you. There was a comment that said you were gonna be on the Epstein list, and then David was like, oh, you need to delete all this, we need to delete the chat. And like, he was trying to make her look older with the glasses, and then he was also trying to like cover her up a lot because he was probably embarrassed to be seen with her in public. So there's just like a lot of weird things. There's also even a teacher that came out that said that he also taught her previously at one point, and was even showing like the picture of her behind one of his posters, and he was talking about the dangers of social media. And he wasn't aware that at first that she was gone until the media talked about it. And he was like preaching and saying that like, oh, she met him off of social media, and then because she used to talk about it amongst her friends, she used to kind of like brag about it, apparently, how she was meeting up with this artist and that they're hanging out and this and the third, that's how he would know about it. And they met off of social media, they met up, and then now she's gone. So it's just, he was trying to preach to them that it's not safe to believe everyone, and to know like the dangers of social media, because some people are just way too willing to meet up with strangers, and some people don't know about internet safety. Sometimes they just kind of like, oh yeah, like I want to meet up with you, you know what I mean? Like social media has been out for a very long time now, so you would think that people would understand like the dangers of social media since it's been out and it's become a lot more advanced. But some people still don't know, because there's some people that are kids that would give out their address on Roblox, and then they'll be like, oh, why is this man showing up at my house? And I'm sure you've seen the videos, but I don't really know if they're like fake or real, but I kind of believe them, because I know that there's some gullible kids that are willing to do that because they probably think that they're kids as well.
That's her in my classroom in front of this poster right here. Okay, hold up, I got another one, because I got a picture on TMZ of this other kid exchanging stuff with the rapper who we alleged did this stuff. Hold on a second, because he's also in my classroom.
Wait, how long ago was this?
We all just found out yesterday who it was, but she's been missing since I taught her. So when I taught her, she met this dude on social media. He was a rapper in LA. He came and got her. She ran away from home. She was gone for like a month. The cops found her in Hollywood, brought her back to our school. She came back to our school, kind of told people this story. She disappeared again in May of that year, May of 2024. That's when her friends told me what happened, that it was this rapper. And then I found out yesterday that she's now dead in that rapper's car, cut into pieces. You want to know how they met? I feel like I just said it. Social media.
Because that whole platform, and even on Instagram, it's just like a breeding ground for just a lot of like creepy people. So, you know, I think even if I was like her age, I think I would be bragging about it too. I think it's just easy to brag about because you're like, oh, I'm chosen, you know, he wouldn't be choosing anyone else. And I guess it's something to brag about. But when you look back on it, if she became an adult and probably around like 20 or something, she could have looked back on it and was like, oh, that was kind of scary, you know what I mean? But she won't be able to do that because she's not here to tell her story, her side of the story. So a lot of people are just kind of like trying to piece together and trying to like speculate what's going on. It seemed like they were having like a relationship or something, because he bought her a ring or something, and she's seen wearing his ring, and then also they were always talking to each other in some capacity. There's some pictures of them that they were hanging out at like 2 in the morning. They hung out at 10 p.m. and hours that kids should not be out, but she was out in the background while he was performing. So she was hidden in plain sight this whole time, and I'm having a hard time feeling like people didn't know, because like even in the videos that people are posting, you can tell like just how she acts. Like even though she tried to act older, she sounds very young. Like, bro, like her voice is slightly deep, but just her mannerisms is very kid-like because she's a kid. And then he was also taking her out to like dinner and stuff. Like there's just a lot of things that are piecing together that they were a lot closer than we think. It seemed like he hung out more with Celeste Rivas, because whenever they did have pictures together, her picture was, she would always hide her face. It could be for 2 reasons. She could be insecure, or she was in hiding. When I was like her age, I was posting like half of my face on Snapchat because I just didn't want people to see my full face. So I would like take pictures like this and then show like a corner of my face. I used to think it looked so effing good, but some of them did. I'm not gonna lie, but some of them did. But it's just like a habit some teenagers do. It seemed like I'm leaning more towards that she was hiding because like she's so like recognizable, but she had like hoodies on and these really massive glasses on that you can't really like recognize her from if you're like walking down the street. It's probably something you can easily overlook, but I'm just like, who thought of that? Like, was it him or was it her? Like I'm just trying to figure out like why they wanted her to look different so bad. Also pointed out when it came to David how he seemed like he had an obsession with Hello Kitty, because his reposts are also a little bit suspicious, because it seemed like he was always talking about one specific person. And you know, like whenever you're posting on social media and you're reposting something, you're reposting it because it is how you're feeling in the moment. So it could be about Celeste, because the Hello Kitty, like we knew that that was like her obsession, and he had made it his profile picture on all his social medias. So that's also annoying, because I'm just like, that seems like you're kind of mocking her. And then also on top of that, he was talking about a Hello Kitty girl from 2021, but that's when he met Celeste Rivas around that time. So I just think that he has an obsession with her. And then another thing I do want to point out before I completely forget is that his music videos seem like he is pointing towards an obsession with her, because when you watch the little actors, the actresses that are playing the love interest, they all kind of have like a similar feature to each other. They're light skinned, they look like they're like Hispanic descent, and then they also have like, a lot of them have like wavy or curly hair. With Celeste Rivas, she had long curly hair, like dark curly hair, but when you look at the music videos, they have similar features to her. So that's another reason why people felt like he had an obsession with her. And I honestly can believe that, because he even had a unreleased song called Celeste, and I'm like, okay, yeah. And you know, it's unfortunate because that song was actually really nice, because it's not so morbid. It wasn't morbid, but it's also like, why do you have to be weird? Like, that could have been a really good song to put out, but you're weird. So, and also he was putting her like sound, like her voice in music, but he didn't release it yet, but he would do like little snippets, and then you would hear a girl's voice, and people were playing with the pitches on TikTok, and they were slowing it down and like kind of like maneuvering it to see whose voice it was, and they were putting it, matching it with the girl from the stream and putting it together, and it sounded very similar to the girl that was missing. Not like it was like a conversation that they had. Just a lot of pointing, like a lot of clues that he may have had some sort of connection with it. Thing I want to add before I end this video, her body is transported to where her family is. That is like the last known thing that I can find right now. It's still an ongoing investigation. People are still gonna probably make up conspiracies about the situation, but I just will say that this is not the time to be playing detective, because there are detectives that are doing this. It's just, they're just not like reporting every little thing. So they're trying to like pinpoint what led to this situation. They're doing it the more professional way. And for people to get on TikTok and be like, well, I think it's this, I think it's that. Like, none of y'all went to school for this, so we're just kind of going off of speculations. But also just like, it doesn't help to spread misinformation about the situation. It doesn't hurt to look up an article about this if you choose to do it, because it's really not that hard. It's very, very easy to, and all you have to do is just read it. But I'm getting really annoyed with the people that are kind of like blaming Celeste for her rounding up missing. I'm also getting tired of the misinformation that's being spread, because there was one that was like, oh, there was like an infant found by near David's house. That was never confirmed. So they just did it just to hop on the trend because it's a very trending topic right now. I think it's dying down a little bit because people are kind of just like, well, there isn't a lot of like new information being put out. So they're just kind of like, well, I don't know what to go off of now. Like, they're just kind of like, it's like a waiting game at this point. I don't like that since it's been talked about publicly that a lot of dudes and a lot of people have been like blaming her, and I don't feel like they're putting the blame on David, because even if he didn't unalive her, there was still a lot of evidence showing that he did hang out with her. Very creepy to see. We've seen way too many artists get away with this, and hopefully he gets held accountable. But again, I don't really think he's being held accountable because people are focusing more on the fact that people are calling him a rapper when they're reporting it to the news, and not over the fact that, oh, he's actually a indie pop artist. He's not a rapper. You guys are racist because you think he's a rapper. It's a non-issue. We have to remember that this man is like being investigated for a homicide. So did you forget that? Like, I don't know. And also on top of that, his streams have gone up. The last time I checked, it was 32.6 million monthly listeners on Spotify. Pretty sure that people are still probably listening to him because a lot of people are looking up his lyrics and trying to pinpoint what the lyrics really mean. How I saw him was like another emo artist, and I'm just not a huge fan of like emo artists, like alternative artists. So I was just like, I'm not gonna listen to it. I never watched his music video until this investigation was launched, and then when I actually saw it, I was like, okay, that's weird, because there was a part where a girl was being put into the trunk. So that was very, very, very alarming, because it just seemed like he was confessing something, or it's something that he wanted to act out, some weird kink he had, like something, you know what I mean? I'm not going to say that he did it because there hasn't been any evidence showing that he's done anything to her, because they're still investigating that. Like, I have to keep reiterating that because I know that it's so easy to blame, but I want to go off of facts. But even if he didn't, like I said, he had some sort of relations with her. So yeah, but there's also been like other people coming forward saying that they've like David has talked to them, and I don't remember if they were underage as well, but the stuff that are more in-depth is kind of like on Twitter, I feel. So yeah, it's just not, this is not the time to victim blame. Like, a girl hasn't even been laid to rest yet, and people are still like calling her fast. Like, a lot of people are calling her fast. They keep calling her chopped, and just a lot of weird stuff coming out. I'm just like, okay, why are we worried about how she looks? That's like kind of like the least of their worries. And calling her fast is crazy. I didn't even know people still said that. I didn't know that because I haven't really like heard that consistently since like I don't know, like the early 2000s maybe. That's mostly like a 90s thing. But even I wasn't born in the 90s, so I'm like, I still heard it from time to time from older people. Like they would say it. And I remember one time I was talking to my mom's friend from college, like I think like a year ago or two. She was twacked out out of her mind, and she was like, "Oh, you little fast ass," and I was like, "Oh, okay." I couldn't even get a hi out, and that was like my first time being called fast. And mind you, this woman knew me since I was like 10, 11 years old, so I was like, for that to be her first words to come out of her mouth instead of a hi is crazy. But you were the one that wanted to talk to me. Also, my parents let you live in my house when I was 10 years old. But I'm fast. But I'm a hoe. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Celeste is not fast. She was just failed by her parents. She was failed by every adult around her because she had a huge thing with running away, and there is always a reason for a kid to run away. It means that something is going on at home, and that's why they want to run away. It's the perfect time for someone with the wrong intentions to get in the hands of these children. There's tons of kids, tons of adults that go missing every day that look just like her, look just like me, but a lot of them don't get media coverage because they are runaways. I'm glad that she's getting some sort of justice, but like I said before, if she wasn't hanging out with David, people would not care. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week with another video. Bye guys.